Rotate, okay. All right, hello, am I here? I'm hoping I am. My name is Jennifer Groh, and I am talking to you guys about starting a VIP email list. And so we are going to go ahead and get started. So first, I apologize for the delay. I just thought I could hit, start video, and it would just start a video, and it did not do that. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight was my VIP list, and I wanted to start that by saying I'm just a regular cookie girl. I'm even missing page 1. I'm sitting on it. I'm just a regular cookie girl. I live in the suburbs of Detroit, and I live in a little small community, like I said, just north of the Detroit area. And so I'm not out in the sticks, and I'm not in the big city. So I hope that kind of relates and is able to be applicable to many of you guys. I've been in business for a little over 12 years now. I started right before my daughter's first birthday, and I have 4 kiddos now. So I've been doing this for a while, but I have had some interruptions, I guess you could say, in there. And so I got my start doing what's called a mom-to-mom sale here in the Detroit area. It's where you go and you're able to kind of rent a table, and it's like a garage sale for moms. And so I would go and set up my little cookie table, hand out samples, and sell cookies to moms. That's how I got started. That was a lot more before Facebook was Facebook, and Instagram I don't even think existed at that time yet. So anyway, so I kind of got a slower start. Sorry, I'm trying to fix my light. Hey babe, can you move this light over? And so, like I said, I feel like I'm in that, like in People magazine, where it's like celebrities are just like you, right? Like here I am doing a Facebook Live, but I am just like you. I have about 1,700 Facebook fans, so it's not crazy large. I have just a little over, or just under 400 Instagram followers. So again, not a crazy amount. I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to do this on my phone, so bear with me today. But I do have over almost 500 customers on my email list. And so that's really why I'm here, is to talk to you guys about email marketing and how that has worked for me in my business in the last several years is really when I've started doing that. But to just prove another how I'm just like you, and I'm certainly not a cookie superstar, is that 2 days ago I launched my revitalized website that my brother-in-law did, and I didn't check the page title before we published it, and instead of saying Jen's Sweet Treats, it said Jen's Sweat Treats. So certainly don't have my act together on everything by any means. So anyway, but I will go ahead and kind of jump into email marketing and how that has worked for me and how it could work for you as well. So I know that the fabulous Miracle Sisters shared my original post in this event as well about, I posted, it was way back in March, about my Easter pre-sales. I had seen so many of you guys posting, is everybody slow? Like, I'm not getting anything. Nobody's biting on picking up Easter cookies this year. And I was like, oh my gosh, like here I used my email list, and it started, I usually send it out around 9 a.m., kind of let people get to work and then start shopping, I guess. But I had nearly 80 orders in 6 hours, and 75 of those orders were in the first 4 hours of my blast going out, and the average order was $40. So as you can imagine, Easter for me was a big boom. And the funny thing about it here was that Easter was the same week for my community and a lot of the suburbs around here as spring break. So I was kind of sweating it. No Jen Sweet Treats pun intended there, but I was sweating it because I'm like, I have no idea. Is everybody going to leave town? Are they going to want cookies? You know, I have no clue. And so, but it was overwhelming to me how many people had wanted cookies. And so that's why I went ahead and posted, is I think, you know, my email list is where it all came from. I rarely have a VIP cookie link be posted to Facebook. I sell out just about every single time. I did have St. Patrick's Day this last year, but is that really a holiday? I'm not really sure. But I did post that one to Facebook after a day. But other than that, major holidays never make it to social media because with my 500 email list subscribers, it sells out. And so I never have to do that. And can I just say, Heather, I tell my husband every single day that I am funny at least once a day. So I'm glad that you thought I was funny, so I can tell him I was funny today. I got it in. So anyway, I kept thinking to myself, the customers are out there, right? But we have so many factors working against us. We all know about Mr. Zuckerberg and his ploy to take our money as small businesses, and so we all are feeling that crunch on how come nobody's liking my post, how come I'm not getting anybody, you know, nobody's biting, I'm posting all these things, and we can't get that for free. But right now, email is still pretty much a free medium that we can use. And so I know there's a whole lot of millennials out there that say, oh, email isn't cool anymore, it's for old people, and I will agree. I love email address, I love my email, but you have an email address for everything, right? You can't buy anything online. You know, Amazon, any online order, you have to have an email address for it. And I can tell you that as a mom with 4 kids in school, that's the way the school communicates with me, right? Like everything, I will get a text from the school saying, check your email. So, and I think probably as many of us cookiers know, moms are our audience, right? And so a lot of them have kids in school, and so they're checking their email because that's how teachers are communicating that, you know. So I think that's where, you know, email is vital. Even if it's not something that you love, you don't love checking your email, you don't love doing business over email. For me personally, I keep track of all of my orders. Everything goes through my email, but I know a lot of you guys are very comfortable with using Messenger and Instagram to keep track of your orders, but email it's free. It's a way to communicate. It's a way to get right into somebody's face and to get them to open it. And so while it may not be cool and it may not be what you're looking for or what you're using, probably more than likely your ideal customers are very comfortable with it, are using it, are checking it, and that's, I think it's an invaluable tool that is free to use, and it's going to stick around here for a while, that's for sure. So it's good to keep in mind that, yeah, like I said, you know, you may not be fond of it, you may not like it, you may hate checking it, but your customers probably and especially if they're going to subscribe to something, they're going to be looking for it. And so don't discount that idea that you can get a message directly to them. And so we'll just talk about how to start your VIP email list. And again, I kind of went through this in my original post, but it's that KISS, right? Like, keep it simple, stupid. Like, don't overthink it. Don't make it harder than it needs to be to begin with by any means. You can create your sign-up form. I know many of you guys use Google Forms. I personally don't. I use JotForm, and you guys will see me. I've commented on it, how much my love for JotForm. But, and you create it solely for your VIP signups, right? Like, it's just this one dedicated form. And since I can't screen share or apparently create a live correctly, I printed it out. I don't even know if you can see it. I was hoping it would be. So if you go to a computer screen, look at me being all old school here. But all I ask for your name and email address. That's it. I don't need anything else from you. I don't need to know, your favorite color or anything. I just use it simple Name and email, nothing else. What is on there, and this is the second step, is think now. I know we always talk about, starting your business and even thinking now, even in the early stages, for those of you who are just starting, how do you want it to be in the future, right? So determine what you're going to use this list for. I just actually changed mine based on some discussions in the marketing group here. Now mine is for holiday orders and occasional other emails. For me, that's going to be to save the dates. In the fall, probably for upcoming Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then I'll probably do one late January for Valentine's Day and Easter, maybe St. Patrick's Day and Mother's Day kind of thing in there. But determine what you're going to use it for, so that when you are asking them to opt into something, they know what they're opting in for, right? We're all used to that. Anytime we buy something online, they're saying, do you want to opt in for this? And then usually it's like, do you want to opt in for emails? Do you want to opt in for ads? Do you want to opt in for, all these different things? And I'm not saying you need to go in that deep dive by any means, but just in the sense of communicate with them. Mine says, I'm sending out the order link to you and like 2 other emails a year. That's it. I don't send something monthly, weekly. But if you have content, I know we're always talking about on the group here, if you're curating content or you have other, valuable information to get out to your customers, put that in the sign up form and say, are you wanting to hear from me on these other ways? But, think about how you would like to communicate with them, especially because they're saying yes to it and they're going to want to hear from you on those ways. And so, like I said, I don't do a monthly thing. I don't do remember to book for future, but if that's something you want to do, just list it in there so that they know what they're subscribing to. And so, like I said, my VIP list, I've promised them they're only getting holiday orders, infrequent emails. But, like I said, if you be thinking for the future as well. And so then the next thing is to contact all your old customers. This is the one and only time I ever sent an unsolicited email to my customers, is when I set up my VIP list. So I went back through any of my old order forms, found the emails. I also threw on there some family, friends, acquaintances that had, maybe I had a conversation about my cookie business, were Facebook followers, whatnot. And I sent them this one email. Send it, exciting announcement. Jen Sweet Treats is starting a VIP list, exclusive content, whatever it is. Include the link and list the benefits of it and ask them to sign up. That's how I started it. So don't make it even more complicated than just saying, get the word out, start doing that. And then post that again on your social media pages and start collecting them from there. I will tell you the next step, figure out the best way to store your email addresses. Figure it out. When I first started, I used an Excel spreadsheet and I used it in Google Drive, and it worked really well until I accidentally deleted it. I couldn't even tell you how I deleted it. I don't even know. But Google Drive deletes things after 30 days. And it was past 30 days, I went back to go send my next holiday email, and I was like, oh my word, what have I done? So I had no way to recover it. I just had to go back to old emails, find who had ordered, and restart my list. So learn from my mistake. Either keep it under, like, you have to put in a password protected to delete it. Keep it on your hard drive, whatever you need to do. I now use MailChimp. That's what stores my email list for me. I have to work really hard to delete it on there, but just learn from me on that one. I will be the example. Don't pull a Jen is what my mother would say. But that's an even longer story. So for me, like I said, I showed you my order form, my opt-in form. I use JotForm to collect all of the email, and then I every time I get ready to send out my next email, campaign, I dump it into my subscriber list on MailChimp, and then I delete them out of JotForm, just to keep that clear and clean. So, but MailChimp is also another free service, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But that's how to start your email list. Okay, like just start collecting those emails and start from there. And that'll be your kind of, you'll see and very quickly how that will grow. And let me see, what was I going to say? Oh, so the ways to add to your email list. It's in the signature line of my email, right? Of my cookie email or my cookie email address that I use in Gmail. It's in the signature block right there. So anytime somebody contacts me, it's right there. They can always click on it. It says, get, holiday order links 24 hours before they go public, that kind of thing. Sign up here. And it sends them to my JotForm thing. Every time I post a holiday sneak peek on social media, especially Facebook, I'll put a teaser in there that says, hey, look, here's, Mother's Day cookies are coming. VIPs, your email goes out X date, right? Then in the comments, I add the link to the sign up. So right there in the, what is still, you don't have to do the see more, you just can see it right there. There's something in there that says, am I a VIP, right? Like, am I? I need to make sure I'm signed up for that because I like that cookie and I want to order it. So, so every sneak peek gets that in the comment section. And then it's on my order inquiry form. So I also have a JotForm for that as well. And I used to have it as a separate link, like, hey, sign up for my order, or for my opt-in email list here. And then I was like, well, and I just learned this. Like, why not put it at the bottom of my inquiry form? Do you want to sign up for it? And they just click yes, no, or I'm already on it. And so they don't even have to go to that separate link. Hopefully that's, taking that work out of it in that sense, and then I just go to my link and sign them up. So it's kind of clean and they get a confirmation email that they've been added to it. But hey, do you want to sign up? Right? They're already contacting you about cookies. So why not ask, do they want to be on your VIP email list? So it's on my order inquiry form as well. And then, like I said, I just sign them up on my official form. So that's some ways to just keep adding to it. I think, like I said, the biggest thing that always gets me more customers added to it is during the holidays when I'm doing those sneak peeks and I'm putting in there VIPs, so it looks special, right? You might not even see it here on Facebook if you're not a VIP, which is most of the case. And so so that's been the best way that I have found I continuously get VIPs, especially after I post then, hey, cookies are sold out, and then people are all of a sudden going, oh, I missed my chance. And they sign up for my VIP list from there as well, too. So, so that's my kind of download on starting a VIP list and kind of how I continue to add to it. And so I'll just talk a little bit about what I do for emails, because again, I do the keep it simple, stupid, right? So I keep my promise to my customers. I only send out the holiday links. I use MailChimp. And I want to give a shout out to Frank. I don't know if he's watching or not, or maybe while on the live. I saw a comment he posted on another discussion in regards to email newsletters, and it was about not using your main business email, so which is what I had been using, as you're sending email out of MailChimp. And because sometimes people, even though they've signed up, will mark it as spam, right? And so I use just a separate email that was created through my website that I don't actually use for anything else, and that is what I use as my sender email out of MailChimp. And so that way, should somebody mark it as spam, it's not going to block just business emails I'm sending with a customer potentially automatically getting marked as spam by a provider, because of something else that maybe happened on a business end. So yes, thanks for tagging Frank. That was him who gave me that idea, and I was very glad he did. And if you don't have it, just create another email, maybe at a Gmail or Yahoo, whatever you use anyway as well. Just create another one that is free, that you're only using to send out your VIPs. Even if you're doing it as, and I'll say, for years, I sent out my VIP emails just out of my Gmail account. Okay. I just started using MailChimp, I think at Thanksgiving this last year, and I've had my VIP list for probably 4 or 5 years. But as it was getting larger, I didn't want Gmail to flag me personally, and so I just didn't want to get in trouble even from just using it that way and being marked as spam, because I was sending out hundreds of addresses within my email, and that's why I decided to move over to MailChimp. So the things that I really like about MailChimp, it's free. Everybody loves free, and then their templates are like crazy easy to use. And so the one thing that's so easy to walk through it, even Jen Sweat Treats could do it, right? So the subject line, I always keep it, it's coming from Jen Sweet Treats, so I write VIPs, Mother's Day, order link inside. That's what it is, because that's what they're looking for. They're being trained to look for the order link, because I've been telling them on the sneak peeks on social media. And so my subject line is that. And the one thing that I do love about MailChimp too, there's probably other mail providers that do this, but they have that preview line, which is the line that shows up after the subject line, which typically, in a personal email is going to be the start of what you're sending that person. But you can also do a preview line in MailChimp, and that tells it what's it going to say there. So, for instance, for St. Patrick's Day, it says VIP, St. Patrick's Day ordering link inside. And then my sneak peek line says, get them before your luck runs out, right? I can be a little punny sometimes too. Or Mother's Day, it says, grab your cookie gifts for moms, grandmas, or your girlfriends. So again, it gives that extra little boost on the end of it, which I really love. And it just adds that extra little boost to what I think a subject line, if your subject line's too wordy, or, sometimes it gets lost in there. So my dog is, let me see the puppy. Yeah, she's coming in here. So yeah, my headline. And then, so when I do my headline, it just says, VIPs, your Mother's Day cookies are ready to order. And look at me, I even printed that out for you. So, we'll see if you guys can see this. So, VIPs, your Mother's Day cookies are ready to order. It has 3 pictures in it. It's not all the pictures. It's just 3 pictures that I chose that are the ones that I like the most, I guess. And then all I include in there are when the pickup dates are, or when the pickup for Mother's Day is just one day, when the times are, and then it's the big button that says, click here to place your Mother's Day order, that takes them to, right to my Jot form to buy those. Now, for Mother's Day, I did add on teacher appreciation, because I was doing a flash sale and telling them to watch my Facebook page on this past Monday. But typically, my order form or my email, out of MailChimp is really simple. Here's my Easter one. So 3 pictures, your order, it's ready to order. Dates and times. That's it. And a big button that says click here to place your order. And so I like MailChimp. It makes it a little prettier than what my Gmail ability was able to do. But I still keep it really simple. I'm sending out the same information that I did when I just did it in Gmail. But it allows me to make it a little more prettier and formatted, what everybody's kind of used to seeing when you get your promotional emails. I was going to add on, too, in regards to subject line, I think probably most of us get emails from like Michael's, right? Like all of us craft people probably have a Michael's email that we get. And, you know, everyone, it goes to my promotions folder, you know, so as I'm looking through it, for the most part, you know, Michael's is, you know, are you ready for spring? Are you ready for Mother's Day? Here's some great, you know, different things going on. But when the subject line says 40% coupon inside, right? Like, you open it. And so, because I'm like, I want to see that. I don't need to see all the other, there might be coupons in the other emails, but I'm not opening them. So I think just keeping your subject line straight and to the point so people know exactly what they're getting when they open it up. It just helps you on your open rate. And so I wanted to share with you guys as well. So my Mother's Day order form went out on April 23rd, so just a couple weeks ago. It went out to 485 of my, that's how many people are on my VIP list. I had a 55.8% open rate, so that's over 200 and, I'm not here to do math, right? So that's over 200 people who opened up my email. My click rate, so how many people went through, is about 27%, and that's perfect for me. I'm happy with that. But that tells me a lot of people are opening the email even if they aren't ordering, and that's fine. I at least they're opening it. They saw value in it enough to open it up and look at the pretty picture and see what's going on. And then with a click rate of 27%, that's over 100 people click through. And again, I'm happy with that. For Easter, it was a 54% open rate, 33% click rate. And again, like I said, I had 80 orders for Easter, 80 unique orders in there. So again, St. Patrick's Day, even, I was like, I don't even know if this is a holiday that anybody wants cookies for. 55% open rate, same as Mother's Day and Easter. And then Valentine's Day was actually my highest one, was 62%, and then Christmas behind that. So I think that the great thing about MailChimp too, it gives you all this information. I had no clue for just using Gmail. I had no idea, I'd see a bounce back, but I wouldn't see anything else. I had no idea how many people opened it, how many people we're actually then clicking through. And so this is a really great reporting tool to really be able to tell you how your business is doing from a VIP list. Obviously not in general how your business is doing, but that data is really invaluable to know, am I sending the right content? Is it getting through to people, that kind of thing. The other little tricky thing that MailChimp does that I kind of like, for instance, after Mother's Day, orders had closed. I got an email from one of my VIPs saying, I didn't get the email. I don't know if I'm on your list anymore. So I go right over to MailChimp, put her email in, right? And sure enough, she got the email. She opened the email a minute after it was sent. And then I don't know what she did with it, but I was kind of like, you did get it, and you actually opened up the St. Patrick's Day one too, that it tells me that you did. So you're on the list, and you're getting it, and you're seeing it. So I don't know what you're doing with it afterwards, but I'm just saying that it is kind of a useful tool to be able to tell, if people are saying they're not getting your email, because sometimes they'll say that. And I did still let her put an order in. I wasn't mean about it, but I was just like, you might want to go, did it go to your spam? Maybe just go check, but it does tell me that you got it. So anyway, but that's kind of the big brotherish part, but I do love it about it. So anyway, that's kind of how Jen Sweet Treat started her email list. And so, I don't know if there, I'm kind of watching some of these comments coming through, but if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer, or I can always answer them later too in the event page. But I guess let me know if there's any questions that you guys have. I'm gonna get a drink of water while you guys. But I don't know about using MailChimp with Shopify, but looks like Heather says you can. But I use Jotform for mine. I use emojis in my subject line? I do not. I haven't figured out how to do that yet. Can you do a live on that and tell me how to use emojis? I'm still learning that kind of stuff. I haven't, so maybe I'll learn it by the time Halloween comes around, and I can test it out for you and let you know. So, Bambi, you were asking about sharing an example. What would you like to see an example of? Thanks, Heather. Send me an email. Megan is asking about sending a newsletter. I don't send a newsletter. I know this, I feel like the title of this was maybe oversold me a little bit, but I don't send a newsletter. I don't have enough interesting content. I don't feel like I do anyway. I'm still working on that. Like I said, when I created the post even on doing my VIP list, like I don't shoot videos for Instagram. I haven't even gone that far. So I don't have extra content to send, but I know that I've seen some conversations in the group about sending a newsletter or reminding people, hey, graduations are coming up. Remember, doing, or do you have birthdays coming up? Go ahead and pre-plan those, get them on my calendar. I think if you have content like that and would like to, you would like to do that to kind of keep your name top of mind throughout the year, I would go ahead and do that. Just when you're creating your sign up form, make sure it's in there to say, an occasional once a month email or newsletter, that kind of thing, to be able to so that they know that it's coming and they've signed up for something more than just an order link. I have not tracked opens yet, like doing A/B testing of different content. Frank was asking about tracking opens and like testing different creative contents. Gosh, Frank, you're taking me back to my advertising days. I have not yet. I just got started with MailChimp, but that's a great idea, and maybe I'll start doing that for like October to see if. So what Frank is asking about is like, do you send, you send half your mail list one option, the other half another option, different creatives, and so seeing if a different subject line might get something opened, but you're testing it with your audience to see which subject line tested better in getting more people to open it. So maybe Frank, I will do that for Halloween, because I will know by then, hopefully, how to put an emoji in a subject line, and I will test emojis versus not emojis. Maybe the content inside is the same, but I'm just testing a subject line on that. I haven't done that yet, but that's a great way to kind of see what maybe your audience is biting at. For me, again, right now, with the number of people on my email list and the number of orders that I'm getting, just doing what I'm currently doing, I think if I upped my open rate anymore, I'd probably be in trouble here soon. And our Miracle Sisters wanted me to talk about unsubscribes. I think one thing about people who unsubscribe, I always included it when I first started sending out emails, straight from my Gen Sweet Treats Gmail account. I would say, at the very bottom, like, reply to unsubscribe, right? Like, I didn't say like no hard feelings or anything. I just said no longer want this. You can always reply to unsubscribe. I never had anybody do that, and I think that was probably the hard thing about sending it right from my personal Gmail or my business Gmail, is probably nobody wanted to hurt my feelings. With MailChimp, they can, it's that blind unsubscribe like we do for any time, you know, any type of spam that we're getting, that we're like, sorry, Michael's or Joanne's or, you know, Panera, whoever it is, I don't want to see your emails anymore. And you can click on subscribe and you don't feel like you're hurting anybody else's feelings. I have only probably had maybe 4 or 5 unsubscribes so far from what MailChimp has told me. I had none on Mother's Day. I think I had 1 on Easter, 1 on St. Patrick's Day, and it's kind of like when you see your likes go down on Facebook or something, and you're like, oh, what did I do, right? Or somebody, you know, doesn't want to see your ad anymore or whatnot. But again, like we keep talking about in the group, they're not my ideal customer. And so if you are on my email list and you don't want to see them, then I don't want you on clogging up my email list, because you're not going to order from me anywhere. Bambi was asking about seeing an example of one of the emails that I sent. And I did show that really quick, and I will post it in the event page later, but here it's got my logo at the top, a headline, 3 pictures, and it just says when you can pick up, so that people know before they even get to my order form. Here's my pickup dates, and if that doesn't work for you, then please, you know, I'm sorry. And then, you know, thank you so much for supporting my small business. Click here to place your order. I keep it really, really simple. Again, I am not a content curator at this point, so so I just keep my emails really, really simple. All right. Do people like shop now or learn more? Okay, once a sale sells out, Caroline's asking, once a sale sells out, what do you say to your customers or potential customers on social media? Do you remind them about the VIP status? How do you word it? I know some customers feel sore when they miss out. Once a sale sells out, I go to Facebook and I say, you know, Mother's Day cookies are sold out. That's all I say. I do on Mother's Day. It was interesting. This is the first time I had sad emojis on my post from some customers that had missed it, and I think also for my teacher appreciation, I did a flash sale on Monday, and some of them had missed it, and that was the flash sale, so that was a little different. But you know, it is what it is. I do reiterate, you know, here's my VIP link. You know, and what's going on, but if I'm sold out, but I can still maybe squeeze another order in, and I know them and they've been a repeat customer over the years, I might message them personally and see if they can put their order in really quick. And you know, pre-sales are a little different, obviously, than flash sales, since pre-sales are, you know, you decide what your inventory is versus a flash sale. And so let's see. You talked about using a specific email address for, yes, Frank, we have a shout out to you earlier because I took your advice and changed the email. He asked about, have you talked about using a specific email address for just email marketing? Yes, if you back up, you were at the soccer game, I think it said. See, this is like telling me where everybody's at too. But yes, I did change just when I did, when I sent out Mother's Day. And I think, yeah, just on Mother's Day, I changed it to be my, an email address that I had for free with my website. And that's what I used to send out, let's see. Do you need a big, Heather is asking, do you need a big social media following to create a healthy list? No, you do not need a giant social media following. I have 1,700 Facebook fans, and okay, I've been on Facebook. Well, I started my business about 13 years ago, when Facebook wasn't, gosh, it wasn't anything like it was now. So it took me a very long time to even hit that, you know, celebrating 1,000 Facebook fans or followers after just a few months of being in business. And I am a little jealous of my pre-1,000 self there. But no, I mean, I'm not, I don't have a giant base of social media followers. I'm still figuring out Instagram. I probably don't use that to the full potential, but I am getting better at the 3x3 challenge. That's for sure. And I am seeing results from that. So you do not have to have a huge social media following. I think just setting up that first, email to get the word out and putting it on social media and keeping it top of mind every time you post, even if you're just posting, here's cookies that I did this week, and shout out to this customer, for their, kid's birthday. Hey, I'm also starting a VIP list. Put it in there too. Why not? Just take every opportunity you can to put it out there that you're starting something new. I don't think that that hurts at all. So Megan's asking, how early do you send out your email to compare to when my pre-order goes live? Okay, I send out, my email is my pre-order going live. My email is my ordering link. So, but I do social media sneak peeks a week or two ahead of time. I find that, and this is for me and my business, my customers, my area, and there are some cookiers who put orders and they start taking orders weeks and weeks and weeks in advance of holidays, but I usually do it a couple weeks before tops. I find that over the years, people were always like, oh, they'd show up and they'd be like, I totally forgot what I even ordered. And I'm like, well, let me show you what you ordered, I guess. But so for me, I'm keeping it a little bit closer to each holiday date. I think, like there's been some posts in regards to Mother's Day kind of being a last minute type of holiday anyway. And so I'm finding that I get kind of closer and closer to holiday dates before I send out my email. But yeah, so like I said, I definitely started doing sneak peeks a couple weeks ahead of time, or even a couple weeks ahead of when my link is going out. But I always put in my sneak peeks, here's the date you're going to get the email, so that they can be keeping an eye out for that. And then, obviously, as we always talk about how many people actually see your social media posts. So that's why it's included every single time in there. So hopefully I get somebody else to see it differently. So they're always getting that date put in front of them so that they're looking for it. And the one time I didn't put a time, like usually I will say, okay, Easter cookies are going out March 18th at 7:45 a.m. Look for the email then, right? The one time I didn't do that, I had customers emailing me that morning. Did I miss it? Did I miss it? Did I miss it? No, I just hadn't gotten around yet. The kids were getting out the door, So I was trying to make it a little more loose, and my customers apparently are very trained to look for it at a certain time. So anyway, it's okay, so Caroline's asking, with 80 orders at $40 a pop, can you share what people are buying? How many will you produce and how? So the 80 orders was for Easter, and honestly, it was a lot of those personalized bunnies. I sold a lot of DIY kits. I had a little box of 4 cookies. Poppers. Okay, I do what's called poppers. And for Easter, I do these little jelly bean poppers. I call them actually 2 bites. And you got a box of 18 poppers. I don't even remember what I sold it for, but it was a box of 18, and I know I made over 900 poppers. Not 900 boxes of 18, but 900 total. So whatever 900 divided by 18 is. But anyway, those suckers are always one of the biggest sellers for me. But I was amazed when I saw that average order, and I sell I call them large variety cookies. I make 6 designs of just single regular size cookies, and you can just buy one if you want one. I don't sell them by the dozen or anything like that. And I think Easter is one of those holidays when people want the cookie on the plate as people are sitting down to dinner. And so I sold a whole lot of those as well. So, and how many will you produce? I don't know how many. It was a lot of cookies. Actually, if I go back and if I can find it here I can tell you how many I made, because I did a contest afterwards. Here's an idea. nothing to do with marketing, but I shared it in the group as well. But after Easter, and it was actually during Easter, I took a picture of my baking rack filled with all the cookies that I was making, and I did a post afterwards saying, guess how many cookies I made for Easter, and you get a $10 gift certificate to either Mother's Day or Father's Day. And so that was a great way, and I did that both. They could enter on Instagram and on Facebook, and so they could get 2 entries on that. And so that was a fun little, I do that after every major holiday. I don't know that I'd do it after Mother's Day, but so for Easter, I made 2,232 cookies. Some of those were naked cookies for the DIY kits, but I counted them anyway. But anyway, so that's how many cookies I made. And how did I do it? I did not sleep, and I let my kids have a lot of screen time. So can I schedule an email to go out? Megan's asking, can you schedule the email to go out at a certain time? So if you get busy, it goes out anyway. Okay, this is the one thing that free MailChimp does not let you do. I used to, with Gmail, you can do that. You can just, if you're sending it out from your personal Gmail account, you can schedule it to go out at a certain time. With the free MailChimp, it does not allow you to do that. So that's one of the limitations on it, and that's okay. I just set my phone alarm to go send it out. So that's what I do for that. And I usually schedule it to go out at a time anyway that I know that I have a few minutes to sit down on the computer and just hit send. I compose the email well ahead of time. I'm putting the pictures in as I, do my samples and all of that. So I'm not sitting down on the day that my email is going out and creating it in MailChimp. I'm doing that ahead of time. I import any last VIP signups the night before, and so then that way, all I'm literally doing is opening up MailChimp and hitting send at whatever time I've told my customers that I'm doing that. So, okay, Caroline, you asked, are poppers minis 2x2? No, poppers are okay, those Wilton cutters that you buy at Michael's, right? They're those. They're like quarter size. And my jelly bean ones, I call them 2-bite poppers. They're probably an inch. They're a little bit bigger than a quarter, and they're jelly bean shaped, so they're oblong. But no, my minis, I do sleeve of minis, and let's see, how many did I sell of those since I sold 46 sleeves of minis. There's 5 cookies each in those bags. So I did sell a lot of minis as well. Let's see. Oh, Gina, you have to tell me how you schedule with free MailChimp, because I don't know how to do that. It told me it wanted me to pay to be able to do that, so you'll have to give me the inside scoop on that. We can do that later, though. But yeah, when I went to go hit schedule, it said that I had to pay for it or upgrade my account anyway. So, Megan, you asked, if someone provides a work email address when they order from you, do you still send to their email to them? I feel conflicted about this. I do. I don't double check emails. In fact, I have a lot of teachers at my kids' school who I send to their email address. I figure if they're signing up with it, they're probably signing up for a lot of other stuff, I guess, to get sent to that. It's not my, I don't go in and edit emails. And I do have some customers who I have them in there twice. Their work email and their personal email. So I let them choose on that. I don't edit or ask because if you're at work, when I send out my link and you're not checking your personal email during your work hours, then you want to get it when you do that. So anyway, I don't kind of go through and verify anything of that. I just add it in. So, and I know teachers are, at least my teachers are checking their email after hours anyway too. So yeah, so I go ahead and just do it with that, but all right. Any other questions? Otherwise, I'll kind of wrap it up, and you guys can always ask me questions later, or our Miracle Sisters can always answer any questions too, since they are our online experts. So, but I had a lot of fun. Thanks for listening to me, and I hope that I gave you some just regular cookie girl information. If I can do it, you can do it, right? So anyway, well, signing off from the suburbs of Detroit, and I hope you guys have a great night. Bye.